Hello techies, I'm Divya here. On behalf of CyberBrainer, don't you think the world of tech is evolving faster than ever? Now is the perfect time to dive in and build the skills that will take you places. With CyberBrainer, we are putting you in the driver's seat of your own future. We at CyberBrainer don't just teach your interest. We believe that knowledge is power, but it's applied knowledge that truly sets you apart. Whether you're diving into data science, mastering artificial intelligence, or exploring the world of cybersecurity, our courses are designed to give you the skills that matter. So let's jump into the session and make the future yours today. Thank you.
Then let's start the discussion on one new topic, that is reorganization. Now, what is the reorganization? A reorganization event, a reorganization first of all, is an event. It is not an organization, it is just an event. We will use this reorganization event to group together some common tasks whenever we would start creating our organizations, etc. We will need to have a reorganization. Even now, this reorganization event is only used to group together. But reorganization activities with the common effective date into one single event. Event, let's say you are creating a new company. Why are you creating it? Maybe you are expanding into a new line of business, correct? That might be the reason that you are creating a reorganization, a new company, or maybe you are expanding into a new country. You're starting operations in a new country. That's why you are creating a new company. Correct? That reason is equivalent to your event. All the activities that will happen, the structural changes that you are going to do in the organizational structure changes. You are going to create new organizations. You are going to delete lead organizations, or maybe you are going to move them. Move the hierarchical structure here and there. All of that needs to be tagged to a reorganization event. The following activities will use a reorganization whenever we are creating a new organization. We need to specify the reorganization event, because eventually it is going to group them all together for auditing and reporting purposes whenever we are including a subordinate organization into an existing organization. Let's say you have a sales and distribution department. You are adding a new department called sales and distribution now New York, or a sales and distribution for California. You're adding a new department under the sales and distribution department. If you want to do that, you have to use a reorganization event. If you are moving retirees from your active department to a retired department that needs a reorganization. Now, other maintenance activities, if you change the name, if you change the location of another department, if you hire a worker into a department, those don't need a reorganization. Whenever you are creating a new organization, you need to specify the reorganization task. Let's create a reorganization. The task to create a reorganization is create a org, create reorganization. We will use this reorganization for all the activities that we are going to do. Going forward, let's give it a name. Let's give our group a name. What do you do? What would you to call yourselves? This group of people the group of participants. Give yourself a name, a team name. Avengers, Phoenix, Mavericks. Trainees, trains. That's too generic. Give yourself a more fancier name. We work, we work. Is that work? Is that what you said? We work. All any, you all agree that. Agree to this. That I lock it as they say. I will use the effective date as the 7th of March because that is the time, that is the date in the system. As of now, you can choose any reorganization date. We can also choose the 1st of January. This is the day that changes are going to be effective. It can be 1st of January 2023 as that is absolutely fine. The reorganization date can be in the past, can be today's date, it can be in the future as it is the date when you want the changes to be effective. Let's say that we want 03/07/2022. This is the day that our classes have started. Let's say we work, or we will call ourselves. We work for EduValue. That is a prefix that we will use, and we will say this is for the we work group. All organizations, objects will be created with this. We are whenever we are going to create a new organization, it will prompt. For reorg, we will unmute everybody. Now let's click on. The moment we do that, that's it. We have created a reorganization event. It's as simple as that. But the thing is, the moment we start creating our organizations, which we will do from tomorrow, let's say I want to create supervisory organization. If I want to create one, it will prompt me for the reorganization. It will prompt me for the reorganization. But thankfully, we have created a reorganization called WeWork. If I want to see it, I can see it using edit reorganization. We can search for the one that we created. Here it is. WeWork. This is a reorganization again. A quick revision. What is a reorganization? It is an event. It is an event. It's a tag that you can use to group together the different reorganization activities. And what are the reorganization activities? When we create a new organization, when we change the organization structure, when we assign workers to a custom, or when we move retirees, those activities will use a reorganization event. Other organization activities will not be a reorganization activity, and they would not need reorganization. We just wanted to let this that when we start creating supervisory organizations tomorrow, you are all able to use a reorganization task and reorganization event. What happens if we don't create a reorganization? I mean, we have to do a supervisor. Let's say you did not create one and then you start working. Let's say let me do another one. Let me say create company. A different type of organization. Don't get confused. I'm just showing that if you try to create a company, it will prompt you for the reorganization. But then let's say we haven't created it. We have it. What we can do is just click on this field. It will prompt you for the drop down. And do you see something called create reorganization? You have the option to create it from here, as you can create it. If you click on that, it takes you to the same page. Let's say we say this, we work to, and give it a date. 7th of March. You see, now it was created and it is automatically selected. You can create it this, no problem. Or what in case I forgot to create the reorganization and I started working, can I come back again? You cannot, you have to, without specifying the reorganization. You cannot proceed, it's a mandatory. You have to give it. Either you use some from your fast we work to you, use some of these, or you create one. Now, every time you create an organization, you do not need to create a new reorganization because you are creating this organization structure because of some changes to your organization. Let's say your company is doing an expansion project. As part of that, you are creating a company, some locations, some regions, etc. That is the region you are creating those different objects, isn't it? For each different supervisory organization of your organization, you are creating a new, each different company. You are not going to create a new reorganization. Please make a note of that. We will use the same reorganization for all the tasks with the same effective date. All as long as things are with the same effective date, we will not require to create a new reorganization. Don't just create a reorg just for the sake of it. Not need it the whole. Purpose of using a reorganization is to group together all the similar activities in one single place for viewing and auditing and voting purposes. If we have different reorgs, then what's the point? Create one organization as part of your activities and use that for all of your hands on when you are going to do it. It is mentioned in your handbook as that you have to. You have to use your existing reward now. What I will do is I will rename the we work to. Because otherwise what will happen? Every time I search for we work, the we work to will always keep coming. Let me change the name. Let me delete this if you want. Let me try to do that. There is no delete reorg. There is no delete reorg. We can either delete. Sometimes I asked, is that sometimes? Example, in the organization, we have started with a new location, new store I have created myself. That one store name as our work location, organization. Somebody also already edited and they have created. I have not noticed at that time. What will happen? You created another one with the same name. Let's say somebody already has it. Will show up as two different objects. It will show up as two different objects. I create a New York location. You also create a New York location. You didn't realize that I have already created one and you create another one. That will be two relogs. In that case, the duplication work will have a show no. It will exist as two different organizations, two different objects. I will continue my question. I have created New York location 1 and somebody of my colleague has also created. He has a map to some few employees, 10 members. I have also some rapid 10 and class when I download for new application, employee. Details, it will show 20, correct? That is the duplication again. If I want to remove that, you cannot remove that. You can inactivate that. You can mark it as use. That is what you can do, but you cannot delete that. Now, this thing doesn't happen in the real environment because it is controlled. Who is creating it? And then there are tasks given to each one of you. You and your colleague would not be given the task to create two new locations. As part of the training, yes, 20 people will be given the same task. You all will be doing the same thing. But in the real world, no. That doesn't happen. because I have experienced it in past company with dormant box. Actually, what will happen now? Admin kind of people in the company directly ahead will not be having this kind of access. Normally the people who is handle this kind of cases, any employee issues early. I have got updated. Let's leave data instead of I have got updated for last week. Attendance is not marked properly. This kind of issues will not be able to handle with the head. That is what they will give it to all the rights to admin level people. There will be one or two admins. Always will be there because as it were there, they will work in the shift. Why is it will be different? There will be two employees. In that case, it will happen. In that case, what happens is depends on the task that got duplicated. We may be able to undo it. We may be able to undo it, but everything cannot be deleted. There are some objects that can be deleted, but this objects your supervisory organization. A company itself, these cannot be deleted, they can be inactivated. Sorry, how do we inactivate? You go to related actions. Let's say I want to inactivate this. I will go to the reorganization and I have the option to inactivate. The organization got it. But I said not all objects will have this option. It depends, it varies from object type to object type. Depending on the object type, you may be able to delete, you may be able to inactivate. It depends on something for some work. For some things, you may be able to undo the action, as we will talk about that. When we do business process, the action is called a resend. We may be able to resend some of the tasks that we did. Depends on what you did. We may be able to undo it, but it's difficult to prevent duplicates that we just want to everyone else say yes, a reorg is visible to everybody who has access to create a reorg. Yes, it is visible. I have one more question. Example you are starting with reorganization. Because now we don't know about completely Workday, what it is, how it works. We are starting now. Why we are starting directly with the reorganization instead of organization? Because the example the company I am purchasing today, the Workday for my company. From the starting day, how it works from the day. From that point of time, I think we need to start now. I didn't understand why we are starting reorganizing. Obviously, let's say you have purchased, you have subscribed to Workday. What is the first thing you will create in Workday? How about whatever the example, how we need the company, you will create your company first. Mohan, let's say you are ABC company, you will create your company. You will you want to leave your mark on the tenant that this is my company. You will create a company. Correct. Try doing that. What does it ask you? Organization. That's what we did. No, I understand. Correct. This point I have clearly understand. But why we are calling it as reorganization instead of organization? That is what work that does. I said reorganization is not an organization type, it is an event. It is an event, it is a reason that you are creating that organization structure. It is a reason that you are creating the company. Why are you creating the company? Why are you using the company? Maybe because it is an expansion project, it's a new implementation. That's why you are. That's why you are creating the company object in Workday. Is it got it? Subscribe to Workday now. Now you are migrating from your legacy HCM application, whatever it might be, PeopleSoft or a CP or it's say, you are migrating that to Workday now. Now, the moment you start creating your organization objects, you will be prompted, why are you creating this? What is the reorganization event? You are saying, it's a new implementation. You can call it as new implementation, a Workday migration project. That would be the name of your reorg. The reason we gave work is because we want to group all the activities that we are going to do in this particular day. That is why we named it that. That we will always use it when we create a new company, a new department, a new location, etc. Whenever we are doing it, we will keep using the same reorganization. That's why I gave it that particular name. Reorganization is the same. Not is not an organization, it is an event. What is the criteria to? Select the date in the reel. Yes, this is the date that you change. You want the changes to be effective. Let's say you are going to start a new company, or you are going to acquire a new company with an effective date of 1st of June, but you are doing it is in the works. You are doing the paperwork, etc. But that this new company will be launched or maybe merged with the existing organization on the 1st of June, that is the date you are targeting. That is the date from which these changes need to be effective. But that is the date that we will use in the row. You are launching a new company. You are doing the paperwork, etc. You are filing for the legal process, etc. This company will be launched, let's say on the 1st of April. That is the date 1st of April. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.